Yes, 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 yes. Here we are. Here we are. Vibes of Convo, man. Special episode, special episode. All right, so I'm posting this right now at the bottom so y'all know. Interview day. Interview day. Yep. Oh, ain't nothing but the good vibes. Ain't nothing but the good vibes on Vibes and Convo special Saturday moment. You know what I'm saying? We usually do this on Wednesdays, but we made a special date for us to get it in, man. Where all the R&B heads at? Go ahead, share the live. Share the live now. You know what I'm saying? Share it. It's going down in a major way, man. We got something special for y'all today. Something special. There he is. Yo. We in there, man. Okay, I'm back. Special episode today, man. We here to talk that real R&B talk. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but good vibes here, Vibes and Convo. You know what I'm saying? Interview with James Woody Green, also known as Woody Rock. Saying from formerly of Drew Hill, man. Let's see, we're about 2 minutes in now. Give it a few more minutes. Allow the live to kind of get to people. And then let's get started. Let's get right into it. I'm going to bring in my co-hosts, Timbo and Curt Quinn, y'all. And we're going to get to it. And we're going to bring in the man of the hour himself, James Woody Green. Yeah, man. Appreciate every last one of y'all, man. Feel free to share this live. Feel free to share this live interview. We got 2 minutes, y'all. We got 2 minutes and we're going to get started. 2 minutes and we're going to get started. Let me get my co-host in here right now. Let's see. Get the vibes going. Let's get the vibes going. Fellas.
Timbo, get your sound.
Say something, Timbo.
What's going on?
I hear an echo or something.
The echo is probably my people in the back. Hold on. Hear me better?
No, I hear myself. Yeah, I hear the echo.
I hear it on you,
okay.
Kid.
Yeah, every time I talk, echo back.
Hey, I hear y'all just fine, but I'm not picking up.
Okay.
Am I picking up now?
We hear you. It's an echo on my end.
Oh, it's an echo on your. Okay.
Yeah.
I took your advice, Kurt. I got the headphones. I'm wearing them today. Look. I got my Ray Jeezys.
Y'all hear echo on my end? Okay. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to call y'all. I'm going to bring y'all back. Let's see if you're there.
All right, let's try that.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir?
All right, go ahead and log out. Timbo, I'm gonna call you back.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right, let's try this again. Do.
All right, one at a time. Can you hear me?
One check. Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
You sound good, sir. Yes, sir. All right. One thing down. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bringing the illustrious Timbo Slice to the conversation.
Right.
See what this guy's talking about.
All right, let's get it. Yeah. Okay, so right when we brought Timbo in, the echo started.
Okay, so it's me. I think it's probably my earbuds.
Yeah,
Maybe it's earbuds.
Because I didn't have this issue when I was using the speaker. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use the speaker. Just give me a second.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, y'all, we're here.
All right.
Go ahead and talk to him, Kurt, so they don't hear my echo.
All right, so cool. So here we are on a special Saturday edition of Vibes and Conversation, okay? Into our wonderful conversation, you know, what we talk about, that good old R&B, baby, amongst other things. And today, we're honored, blessed, privileged, dare I say, to have one of our inspirations, you know, one of the authors, if you will, the soundtracks of our time here. You know what I mean? So it's more than a pleasure for me to tell you that I'm here today with y'all. You know, vibing. Let's have some good convo. Let's have some good questions. Let's talk about it. You know.
All right. How about now?
We hear you. We just don't see you. I don't know where you went.
I see y'all.
I can see him.
All right.
I see the head, man. Let's go, baby. We in here.
I can't see him at all. Oh my yeah.
What's going on with technology today? I guess it's my turn, huh?
You know.
That's cool.
Click the Xbox, click out, and then I'll get you back on.
All right, cool. We'll see if that works.
Let's go.
It's better. I can see him. Okay, I'm the only one that can't see him, so you good.
All right.
All right. We'll bring him back. Don't worry about it.
Man, how we feeling? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody.
Feeling good. Feeling good right now. Feeling good right now. We got to make sure it's all the way right. You know.
That's right.
Got to make sure it's all the way right.
It's all good. We're doing this in real time, y'all. Welcome to the journey.
Right. There we go. There we go. We good.
Okay, here we go.
Timbo, I hear you, buddy.
All right.
Hey, man, I can barely hear y'all.
It's just, yeah.
I can't hear you.
Boy, your echo is
Hold on.
Maybe it's the right now.
Now I can't hear y'all. If y'all can hear me, I can't hear y'all.
We can hear you.
All right. Try it again.
It's just my turn. I believe again.
Jump on.
All right.
Let's get it.
Yeah, we're going to get it. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right.
Says the phone down. You know what? Green Eyes, no surprise. I think the phone might be down. But we're about to get this going. So
yeah,
we're going to get your patience. Look, we almost there. For everybody that's tuning in on the special edition of Vibes and Convo, let's talk about it. Everybody listen, y'all seen what we put up. It's a big moment for R&B for us, you know what I mean? We got Mr. James Woody Green, aka Big Woody Rah, you know what I mean? Making a guest appearance today. We're gonna talk some good talk with y'all, you know, and hopefully everybody catches a good vibe. What we talking about, Key?
You know, sometimes when the phone is down, it'll echo. Yeah. Yep. But we about to get it right. We about to bring Woody in too. We about to bring Timbo back. and we gonna get it right, man. We about to get it right.
Lord willing, let's get it.
Things happen with the streaming, you know. But we about to get it right. Get it
This is what we
all.
call pandemic problems. See, ain't nobody was talking about this when everybody was in the face. But these pandemic problems. So let's see, y'all.
We'll come. We'll come.
Right.
You know, it comes with it. All right. Let's try this again.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Okay.
Yes.
Y'all can
Can't
see
hear
me?
and see you.
There we go.
There we go. We in there.
All right. Cool,
All right.
man.
So let's bring the man of the hour on.
Let's talk about
it. And you know, let's rotate these questions and let's get to it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna bring him in right now.
You know me, I'm on the spot. Let's go.
Here we go.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Oh wow, there he is, man.
What's going on, man?
Oh, Woody.
What's going on?
Man. How y'all?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
I hear you.
Love it.
you got it.
Early at the time, you got it already, man. What's up?
That was my fan. I had to fan out for a minute. My bad. So I had to
Hey,
get that out.
brother, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't no harm in it, man. You saw you was on like your brother name. You was on key,
Hey.
so we can be safe.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
First and foremost, how are you, sir? How are you during?
Wonderful, man. Blessed. Glad to be here in the land of the living and amongst good brothers, man. The energy, I could feel the energy from the time y'all came on, man. So I feel like it's gonna be a good day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Blessings.
Love that good talk.
Thank you for
Yes,
taking
sir.
some time out of your busy day, legend. You know, we definitely appreciate you to contribute to these good vibes. And hopefully we have a good conversation.
Appreciate y'all, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So let's get right
Yes,
into
sir.
it. Let's get right
Go ahead,
into it.
Timbo.
So I personally want to know. Like, who did you look up to vocally growing up? Like, who were some of the people that you looked up to when it came to this R&B thing?
Yeah.
And I'm the first person that I basically grew up in gospel. Like I wasn't allowed to listen to R&B. So it was like Daryl Coley, if y'all know him, gospel singer from back in the day with all the super runs, Commission, the Winans. But it was funny, and I had a cousin that sung, and I don't know what he listened to, and I looked up to him a whole lot. And when I first started singing in church, people would compare me to Stevie Wonder. And it was crazy for me because I didn't know what Stevie Wonder sounded like because I wasn't allowed to listen to none of his music. And it wasn't until I was like about 14 when my mom allowed me to use my allowance to buy like CDs and stuff. And I got Talking Book CD. And I was like, ooh, I see what they talking about. And it's like the way that the brother wrote and put his melodies and stuff together. I was like, yeah, I kind of do see what everybody's talking about. So then when that happened, I gravitated to him like super heavy.
Right.
And also JoJo from Jodeci, like, and Steve from Truth too. Like people with like the light voices that was like just finessing. Because I always put them in two categories. Either you got the powerful voice like Teddy P, and the turn them off. You either got that, and you just getting them like that with the alpha energy, or either you got the energy where you just smooth and you just finessing your way through to the same goal. And I chose to be on the side of the finesses, man. So all them guys like that, Ralph Tresvant, all them guys with them smooth, pretty voices, man, was who I looked up to.
It's ironic you said that too, because we just had this conversation about you the other day. How you're like one of the best at that.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Not necessarily the power like alpha vocalist per se, but you definitely carry a song like nobody else can.
Appreciate that, man. That means a lot.
Definitely
coming from singers and artists such as yourself, man. I respect y'all. And before we go any further, like I just like to say I thank artists like y'all for keeping the baton, keeping the whole thing going, because it's like so many people succumb to the whole auto tune and whatever, and not knocking that. It's a
Right.
place for that, but you also want to hear some soulful vocals and some real heartfelt singing. So it's like the stuff I heard from Key, and I'm sure if y'all brothers is all down with each other, then y'all got some of that same flavor amongst y'all. And it's just like I'm
Yeah.
excited about people
Yeah.
like y'all that's keeping it going for real, keeping the real soulful singing going
Now,
Appreciate it.
in these auto tune times.
just to piggyback off of that sentiment, like we were literally just having that conversation about the different types of vocalists that you might run across.
Yes, sir.
And it's funny that you said Stevie Wonder, because I feel like in the group of you guys, right? You guys had different elements of R&B. You had the obviously the gospel influence over everybody, but then you have a super powerful side of it from like Cisco, and then the super technical side with jazz. You know, you guys all had different things that you brought from that group. And I always thought that your vocals, that you were a very tone driven, very, very clean, very tone driven singer, you know? But when I think about y'all, it's almost like, remember the movie, not the Four Heartbeats, but what's the one? The Five Heartbeats.
5 Heartbeats.
Okay, so my man Duck was the musician and the songwriter.
Right.
So when I heard you, I said, "Oh man, they messing with my music." You made me think about Duck. You know what I mean?
I find that too, and I never said it out loud and never heard anybody say it out loud, but I did relate to him the most in that movie. Like a lot of the stuff that happened to him in that movie happened to me. And people would always label me as choir boy because of the fact that I come from church and stuff, but I really related more with Duck. Like that character definitely resonated.
And
so the fact you put that, that's what's up.
Yeah, because we really are fans. You know what I mean? So we pay attention to at least our imagination, because obviously we wouldn't know unless we had this convo.
Right.
You know, but the thing about it was that always impressed me about what you brought was just your songwriting. You know, when I heard the heartfelt lyrics, you know, the way you deliver it, really showing your voice, it was like, oh, my man's a real songwriter, you know?
Yes,
and when you say Stevie Wonder, that's why I hear that neo soul. If you noticed in that era, when neo soul kind of started picking up and that term started picking up, you start hearing a lot of artists that were directly influenced by Stevie Wonder. That had that Stevie Wonder.
Glenn Lewis, they sound almost like the same person on certain stuff.
Yeah, they do.
It was a video on YouTube at one point, and some of y'all probably caught it because y'all follow music like I follow music. And they were sitting side by side, and they were singing. And it's like if you shut your eyes, you wouldn't know when one of them started and the other one stopped because they sound that much alike. It's crazy.
They do.
Right. So it's crazy that you said that, because you already knocked out one of my questions, man. So
oh man, my bad. Another one too. Karen Carpenter. Y'all remember the Carpenters? And like her tone was just so still, and like if you just listen to it, like she wasn't no powerhouse, she wasn't beating you down. But if you just sit and listen to her singing, like it could bring a grown man to tears for real. And that was another one of my goals. Like I want to make somebody cry one day, you know, by just bringing to them, singing something so pretty that they just shiver and they cry. You feel me?
Man, everybody can't do that. There's a special skill when it comes to be able to sing a straight note. It's easy to do runs if you into that, but it's hard to sing one note, man. So you know, it's crazy.
It's an underrated skill.
I always say it takes something spiritual to be able to do that. Like you have to have some connection with the Most High in order to effectively be able to do that.
That's the key right there.
If you don't feel that for real, it's not gonna. Nobody else is gonna feel it.
Exactly.
I always believe there was a direct correlation with that. So yeah, good on you. Good on
you.
Yeah, man.
So my question is, when and where did you discover your passion for music? Like when did it start? When did it start for you, and like and where?
And probably I want to say high school, because like growing up, my mom had me singing. I sang my first solo when I was 3 years old, but it was just a thing that she had me doing. And then she put my cousins and I together, and we became a choir because she was known for putting choirs together and stuff in our city and taking them to different states and stuff and having them sing. So that was just like second nature, something we did. And going to church, y'all know, if any of y'all grew up in church,
Come
which I'm
on.
pretty sure y'all did
All
with
of
them
us.
vocals, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So it's like everybody singing, and no matter how good or how trash somebody might
Right.
sound, people clap the same.
They
So
clap.
it's like you ain't know if you sounded good or not. Like
Yeah.
they clapping for you,
Them
but you
church
like,
brothers.
okay, y'all just clap for him, and I heard that, and that wasn't, worthy of clap. So I probably don't sound too good either.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Bless your heart and help them, Lord. That was the
Right.
one that the one lady gave when she wanted somebody ready to stop, but she sounded so nice that the person just sounded encouraged. They just kept on going. She said, oh, help them, Lord. But yeah,
That's
so like,
the handkerchief. You better sing, baby.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But like with doing that, I went to around my neighborhood. It was a guy named Marvin, and he's my friend on. I think he's my friend on here. So if you on here, then shout out to you, brother named Marvin Fleet. And he looked like Donnie Simpson with the I think he had the green eyes and all that. So it's like all the girls used to love him, and he used to sing. And one day, and I used to just sit there and listen to him sing too, because he was older than me. So I looked up to him. So
Right.
he had like, and he always had pretty girls around. So like one time a girl requested a song, and it was a church song, and he didn't know it. So I was like, I know that song. And he's like, no, you don't. And I said, yeah. And he never heard me sing before. He said, sing it. So I sung the song, and the girl started crying. And I was like, oh, for real? That's what happens. That's how I thought he was getting them because of the green eyes, but I was like, hold up, my eyes not green, but I could sing a little bit, so I might need to brush my chops up and start doing this a little more too, man. He made it seem like something that was, like made it seem like a superpower,
Yeah.
And once I saw that, then I took it on to school. I wanted to be a comedian, so I used to try to do impressions. So I did a Ralph Tresvant impression one day in the front of my school. And I just done it. It was like a couple of my homeboys, just like the four of us sitting around. It was like four of us standing in a little circle. And I hit the little part of sensitivity. And I thought that the dudes was going to be like, that was funny, laughing and whatnot. But then I saw girls that was like not far away in their little circles or whatever. They started coming over and they was like, do that again, boy.
They got
And I was like, at that point, I was like, man, screw joking, screw being a comedian. If this will get the girls, this what I wanted anyway. So after that, I started just learning every song I could and just singing it, whether somebody asked me to or not, just walking up down the aisles and halls in school and just singing.
Woody, you my long lost brother? Because I swear you just described my upbringing.
Right?
Are you sure we not kids?
See, we might be.
You used to do the same exact thing verbatim.
Right.
That one spot. We all had that one spot right by the bathroom where the echo was real good. So,
So every
time somebody wanted to challenge you, meet me by the bathrooms. That was the move.
Yeah.
We had an open courtyard at my school. Like it was outside. Like the cafeteria was like all like a boxed in. And then you can go outside in the middle area and it was just like lovely acoustic. So like I used to cut class and come down every lunch period because they put me on a different lunch period from all the guys that I used to sing with. And it was like 8 of us at some point. So I used to sneak down and come down on their lunch period and we'd just harmonize with those acoustics or
that's
at
crazy.
the front or the back of our school. And class would be going on and they would come down, the teacher would come down and complain. And sometimes some of the students that wasn't like, most of the students would want to hear singing, but it was always one or two that was really trying to get their education. Like, come on now, can y'all chill? We try to learn something. Like, look, we try to learn something here too.
Right.
Too.
Yes,
For real.
All right, man. All right. Real quick, I just want to pivot. Bear with me because we're jumping around quite a bit here. We only got so much
It's all
time.
good.
But my next question for you was, how was it to have Case on a gospel record with you? How was that? Like, to be honest with you, and just to be honest, when I first heard it, I was more so not just in awe of the song in itself, but the fact that Case made no prior announcement to even going into gospel, let alone doing any gospel music. So to hear that and it sound good, I was like, wow, really? Really? Like, how'd you even make that happen? Like, no, I would have never saw that coming.
Man, it's so funny that you asked it the way that you asked it because, like, he was basically when we went to branch off to do the solo projects and stuff, because the original plan for when Cisco came out with his album, and right before that, I actually left the group to pursue gospel or whatever. And the plan for that was that everybody was going to come out with their own individual album.
Yeah.
So we were at the Hit Factory. I heard that building is not there anymore, but the old Hit Factory, the big Hit Factory in New York.
Yeah.
And each one of us had a floor. Like I had a little teeny room, and then those guys had the A room, the B room, and the C room or whatever. So like whoever came to see any one of us, it was nothing for anybody to just stop past your room at any time just to say what's up or to listen to see what you was doing, like different artists.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, Case is good friends with Noak. So he was there. Probably they were working on some stuff, probably the stuff that they did, the song they did for Cisco's project. I think he was there for that. But
Right.
me and Case,
I know they do have a couple of songs on a couple of cases later projects.
with the guy Phil Weatherspoon produced it that did Beauty. His harmonies is crazy if you ever hear stuff. But yeah. So like Case came down to my, I don't know how it happened, but he just happened to stop past my room to holler at me or whatever. Yeah. And we just got to talking because like back when Touch Me, Tease Me first came out, like now we can clearly hear the difference in their voices, but like when Touch Me, Tease Me first came out, Case sounded to us a lot like KC.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so he started running down like all these stories about him being around when the Forever My Lady album was recorded, and we just got to talking. Like we just talked about Josie or whatever, and I was like, man, shoot, since you down here, Scola, who joined the group on after that when he came with me with my gospel project, and then he joined the group for the third album. But he was working with me the whole time. He had just written that song. So I was like, yo, since you down here, can we see how you sound singing on this song? Okay. So he listened to it. He agreed to jump on it with me or whatever. And it was crazy when you said that whole thing and with how you posed the question, because Mary was also working with me really heavy at that time. It was they actually sang a background on that song. But Warren Campbell, who produced Angel for me, yeah, he produced that song.
Familiar in that background.
Yeah. I had went away when he cut his vocals. I had gone away because BT had me to be a guest on one of those shows about secular artists going to gospel music. It was like me, Reverend Michael Eric Dyson, and a couple other people. Yeah, so like I wasn't there, and Mary pulled me up when I got back. It was like, are you sure you want this guy on your record talking about the Lord? He had a gallon of Hennessy in one hand and he had a cigarette in the other hand while he was in the booth singing. And I, at that time, I'm just on I'm like, well, can y'all play it for me and let me hear how it sounds? And then when they played it, I was like, you know what? Not to disregard what y'all just said, but I feel like it's certain people that might not listen to me or might not listen to y'all that might listen to him just because of the name that he has for himself and, the performance, because it sounds great. So I'm all about just reaching people and bringing them in. So sometimes somebody else can speak the language better than even we can and be relatable to other people. So once I heard, I was like, heck yeah, let's run with it.
You're talking that talk right now, because when we get into that type of talk about reaching people, it's all about going out and reaching people, not expecting them to come to us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if we have that idea in our head already that Jesus ain't hang out with the bishops, he hung out with the people. Jesus was in the streets.
Right. Gotta meet people where they are for real.
Right.
And really, I don't want to get too technical, but if you read the Bible, drinking, it's certain scriptures, many scriptures that say give strong drink to a person that's of a heavy heart. Let them drink and forget their sorrows. That's a proverb. So drinking is not really a sin. Church teaches that drinking is a sin, but the Bible doesn't teach that.
Bishop.
And then there's certain stuff that the Bible says that's a sin that people do in church every week. They have prayer breakfasts, and pork is an abomination to the Most High. He said pork is a stink in his nostrils. He hated. And they had prayer breakfasts and serve you pork sausages and bacon, but then they make you feel like crap about drinking. So some stuff is backwards, Jack. But we had to talk about music, so I digress.
All right. Key, we talking so much. What you got? I know you got something there, Key.
Well, one of them was already summed up right there.
Let me-
So since we talking about that your solo gospel album, I want to ask, can you clear up that timeline of the year that it was recorded?
Man.
Because I know like Wikipedia has their stats, but sometimes the stats is not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So can you clear up the time when you start the year that you started working on that solo album and once it was completed?
I believe it was 99 because I clearly remember seeing some. I got a kind of like selective amnesia for those times, but I do clearly remember having a cassette tape and it said 1999 on it when we started recording, and it was so much change in and out. And one time it's coming out, this is my release date, and it's going to be released on Def Jam. When I first left, they said you might not want to be in the Drew Hill business, but we still want to be in the Woody Rock business. So, you know, like, let's stay over here. But eventually, after a while, it just became clear that it wasn't nothing going to happen with it. It's almost like they didn't know what to do with it over there. So they allowed me to go over to Gospel Centric, which was the label that like Kurt Franklin and Trinity 5-7, Gospel Centric and all them was on. So all that transition. And then the real thing of it was they really didn't want me to go because it was a thing where as though they felt if I was successful with the gospel, it was no way that I was going to come back and do another Drew Hill project, which I was under contract. That was one of the terms for me getting released, was to come back and do another Drew Hill project. So that's why you never heard any promotion. You never saw any video or anything from it. Anybody who picked it up just happened to see it sitting on the shelf and it was orange. Shout out to
I remember seeing like a performance. It was like on BET.
The sports thing. It's like an all-star game or something. They had me come. And Dr. Bobby Jones gospel had me on there too with my home.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too. That's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
But no like promotion like music video or even the lady who was supposed to put up the posters here in Baltimore, she said she got a flat tire. And that's why she never put the pictures up. Like, what kind of excuse is that? But it was an inside job. It got admitted to me later. I ain't going to say who leaked it out to me, but somebody very connected was like, we ain't want that to happen because we wanted to make sure you was going to come back and do X, Y, Z. But I'm a person who's a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. But everybody, you can't say that about everybody. So I guess they figure we'll make him different from the next person that say that. So we going to make sure he ain't got no choice but to come back because we going to sabotage his stuff. But that's basically what happened with that.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is your only gospel project, correct? Like, there wasn't anything prior? Like
no, I recorded a part 2, but it never came out. I recorded a second one, a volume 2, Soul Music Volume 2, it never came out. I had actually got to do it with KC on that one. That song is on my YouTube. For everybody check it. It's a buffer, it's not mixed or anything, but I just threw it up because it's probably never coming out no other kind of way. The volume 2 was crazy, way crazier than volume 1, because it was way more. I knew what I was doing. Like during the first one, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just showing up and trusting the producers and trusting well, I did some writing, but trusting producers and trusting vocal producers because a lot of times when I'm in the studio, I'll draw a blank. Like I'll vocal produce for somebody else. I could think of the craziest runs when I'm sitting on the other side on the couch. But when I get in the booth, I always draw a blank. So I always had to have somebody there that could sing to feed me runs and to help me to tell me how to attack different parts of the song and stuff. Second one, I pretty much felt real confident. And it's even to the point like Bez is, I'm sure we all agree, one of the best technical singers out there going. And it's like when I played it for him, he was like, boy, I see a lot of growth. He's like, you could tell who you're around because the people that you're around will reflect on your art. And when he said that and he liked it, I'm like, man, I felt great because coming from like my big brother, even though it's only a couple months between us, but that's still my big brother. It's like that made me feel like the world needed to hear it. I played it for Foxy Brown in Portugal, and she didn't even believe it was me. She's like, that's you thinking like that? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, why you sing like that to people? I'm like, because they didn't let me. But, I mean, it was just a cool, project. And I still got it. Like, when I do my videos on YouTube, I put out one every week, and I try to put something from the vault. I call it my little vault. It's not as prestigious as Prince's vault, but it's a little something over here. So I try to put something from the vault at the beginning of every one of my little talking videos that people can check out a little bit of that project.
Yeah, and we love it all.
We
love it.
appreciate it and we
Appreciate
love
it.
it, man.
Shoot, thank y'all for real.
Hell
Look,
yeah.
well, and I don't know if you know, like I'm sure you do know, but we want to make sure we give you your flowers.
You broke up a little bit. Give you your flop.
Flowers. Those
There you
flowers.
go. Yes, sir.
We're
Look
not
at
gonna
that.
give
Look
you
at the
no
enemy
flowers.
trying to get me.
Shoot, man, much
So
appreciated, man. And
we
mean a
just
lot
want to make
coming from
sure,
y'all,
man.
too.
Man, look, we
Mean
ain't
the world
nobody,
coming from
man.
y'all.
So I heard through the grapevine that you actually spent a little time in San Diego back in the
Yep,
day. Is that
yep,
true? All
yep,
right.
man. I got people that's like family that's still out that way, man. Shout out to my
Mm.
brother, Dean Judah, man, and his whole family, and like that whole family, like they basically became like a second family to me. And I
Right.
was out there like really living out there, back and forth.
Right.
Like I would come back to Baltimore every once in a while because I still had my biological family there. And I would
Right.
come and take it back with my family, see how they doing. And then one time, even all my little brothers and sisters flew out there and stayed at their family's house.
Oh, that's crazy.
So like I was there,
Oh,
yeah,
There's
loving
a
it, man.
mutual
Like the whole
connection.
different, yeah,
There's a mutual connection. Personally, we know somebody who knows you from Dago because
word.
we was in San Diego. I was in San Diego for 13 years, and I know
Oh
Keith
wow,
there. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's some stuff for
Yeah.
the non-live I chop with
yeah,
you. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
But
Heck
yeah.
yeah, man, I loved it out there, man. And the music, y'all music scene was so different. It's like so much stuff that got airplay out there that we had never heard of. When I got back home, I'm singing songs and stuff and asking them, they like, what's that? And I'm like, y'all don't know Frankie J? Y'all don't know,
Right.
like Bobby Valentino even at the time, because Slow Down was playing out there for, I think,
Oh,
almost a year before it started playing in Baltimore. So I'm
Yeah.
That's
singing it.
crazy.
And people like, what's that? And then finally, like, when I left and came back, like, yo, I heard that song you be singing all the time on the radio there. I'm like, man,
Right.
y'all late.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. That was heavy. That slowed down. It was playing that heavy here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Shucks, man.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just curious, do you plan on doing any R&B projects in the future? Just curious.
Man, I like doing karaoke. I love doing that, but as far as like an actual studio project
Yeah,
that
that's
comes
it.
along with all the politics and having to be pushed and all of that type of stuff, like that type of stuff is what scares me away. Like at this point
Mhm.
and this age, y'all see all this gray and white. At
I
this
hear
point,
No,
like I
man.
just interested in doing stuff for fun. Like if
Right.
I get with somebody and we just happen to just start singing or whatever, if it's for somebody else's project and they responsible for all that pushing and all that political stuff, and all I
Right.
might have to do is show up once in a while and sing somewhere with whoever it is, I'm cool with
Right.
that. But as far as like my own project where I got to do all that leg work and all that other stuff and shaking hands and kissing babies and all that,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Say you
Kill
would
it.
on that.
You've earned
Kill
that.
it.
And you've earned that also, sir. So,
appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I got a question. So, what is your favorite Drew Hill moment? Like a moment in time that you just is installed as far as a best moment, you know?
Man, the BET celebration of gospel.
One of my favorite performances too by
that
y'all.
was a powerful night.
Yeah, like I was never really allowed to get out the gate no other time. And I felt like what better time to be allowed to get my leash taken off for a couple hours or for a couple minutes than singing for the Lord, you know, in front of everybody. So it's like it happened when it was meant to happen, you know? And we singing the Winans, which is one of my favorite groups too. But shout out to me for getting so hyped that I forgot the words to one of the things. I said some crazy word that wasn't the word to the song. Every time I watch it and it gets to that part, I either turn it down or I talk real loud over top of it so I don't hear me doing that. But other than that, it was a great night, man.
It's so relatable, man. Like all of us that do this or have done this at one point, we related to that moment. So we were all with you like that. Now we already.
I remember. I remember watching it, and I remember seeing that when they said that, they announced that y'all was performing. I said, oh, "Here we go." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dope. That was dope.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know that we were a gospel group at one point, where they actually became a gospel group so that my mom would let me sing back with them again.
Oh,
And the first
what?
song that we were singing before we broke into the one is the one that's on our third CD, the How Could You Forgive
Right.
Me? That
Mm-hmm.
was
But I could.
one of the gospel songs that we used to sing like at churches. Like we used to dress basically like Jodeci or like some rappers or whatever. We had on like hockey jerseys and Timberland boots going to
Uh-huh.
church and singing. And we would sing like original songs that we made, and we would sing like one whining song, Ain't No
Yeah.
Need to Worry, but we like freaked that our own way and like did our own arrangement of that. And
Yep.
so
So
that was
so
like
that so
going back to that.
that song there, you guys already had that
Yeah.
original song. I was
That was Cisco
man.
wrote that one. The one that's on the gospel soul music album that I performed with Ruffins and Scola. That was another one of the ones that we used to do.
Mm.
And we had like two or
So
three more that nobody besides the people that was at them churches have ever heard.
so I want a quick question
Wow.
because I
Hmm?
know Scola. It's just from a fan's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that Scola was your man, and
Mm-hmm.
Scola
So
came into.
Jazz know him first and then me. Yeah.
Okay, so you was a
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
homie snatcher. You snatched the homie. It's Scola.
I just had an opportunity. It was like Jazz was working on his project, and he was working with like Dre and Vidal and the people that work with Music Soul Child and a bunch of a camp that he had.
Right.
Cisco had his camp. Pinocchio had his camp on what he was working on, and it was like
Right.
I was just rolling by myself.
So
And it was
Scola.
one of the guys who used to produce for us named Baby Dave, who did the You Everything remix with Cisco and did a bunch of stuff with Cisco.
Yeah.
He had came to me and told me about his cousin who had a choir
Okay.
for my
Mm.
gospel project. And I was like, I don't really want to go the choir route. Like Kurt Franklin got that on lock, and so many other artists that I love have that on lock. So I wanted to just basically make
So
the same type of song I'll be making doing R&B, but just with a more gospel message to it.
message.
And
Right.
so
Right.
Stola was working on a project. The same guy, he bought the choir stuff for me to hear. And when I listened, I still gave it a fair listen. I was like, I
Mm.
don't think I want to do that. So then he was like, you know, I'm man, the Scola too. But we all knew a Scola. Besides Jazz, we knew him because he had a regional hit with a song called Let's Get Personal that
Okay.
was on the charts.
I
In
remember
Baltimore,
that.
like in the countdown, we would be fighting for the number one spot. When we had Tell Me Out, he had Let's Get Personal. And one night he'd be number one, the next night we'd be number one, and he'd be number two, and
Mm.
back and forth like that. So we knew of him. But then Jazz
Mm.
introduced him to us once, but still he was like a Baltimore legend. So it was like
Okay.
when the guy played me his stuff, I was like, oh, you think that he could write a song for me? So he called him and was like, what do you want to talk to you? And Scola was like, I don't want to talk to him. I want to see him. So he just drove from wherever he was at and came and met me at the studio. At
Hold
that
up.
time, both of us had cornrows. We ain't that far different in complexion or whatever. We not that far in height. Like I'm 5'10" and he's like 6'1". So when I
Yep.
looked at him, I was like almost like looking at me for real, but just a little more gangster. Well, a lot more gangster because I'm a nerd. So it's like, you know, Steve Urkel and Stephon Urkel. I
Right.
kind of look
Right.
at it like that. Like, yeah, I was Steve and he was Stephon. So it was just like, yo, let's work. And then we did the one song, which was My Homie, which is the one that the group sung on my gospel project. We did
Mm.
that song. He wrote that song and we did that. And I was like, yo, you got any more? So then after that, I just had him to roll with me through my
Right.
project. So
That
then
was
when the Drew Hill project came up, the
it
next
came
one,
back around.
Jazz wasn't going to participate because everybody else, he felt everybody else got to put out what they wanted to put out. Like, you
Yeah.
got your album out, Wood. Cisco put 2 albums out, and they still
Yeah.
not going to let me put my album out. So basically, I got like how you took a stand and said you wasn't doing nothing until your album come out. It's time for me to take a stand. I'm not doing nothing until my album come out. But
Mm.
some of the group was ready to press forward with the album either
Yeah.
way. So they came to me and said, you think your boy would do it? Talking about Scola.
Yeah.
So first time
Right.
he turned it down. But then eventually, I guess we just kept on like, come on, yo, peer pressure.
Yeah.
So he actually came on board. Then Jazz changed his mind. And when they made Jazz an offer and was like, well, if we'll put your single out inside the Drill Project or whatever.
And
And then you the next thing coming after that. Gave him something he could live with.
man,
And then he came back. But then I'm like, what we going to do about my peoples that have spent this whole summer recording and putting in work and stuff with us? Like, we can't just do them any kind of way. So
Right.
however it happened, that's how it ended up being 5 of us when
Right.
we came
That's
back.
dope.
y'all
That's
turned
real
into
dope.
like the R&B Wu-Tang Clan. Like I
Oh,
love,
man.
I love every different version, especially the first iteration of the group with you and that being for sure.
Appreciate it.
But
Yeah.
but when y'all brought
I'm
Scola,
still mad
Yeah.
that stuff never came out.
them stacks
Man,
got so
James
heavy.
got so many crazy records, man. It's like whenever I meet up with him, I make him play me something. Like, come on, yo, you gotta give me one of your exclusives, yo. You gotta let me hear something that I ain't heard before. He got a Jazz got a vote too. That's crazy.
At that time, the Jazz at that time, woo, he was about to kill a game.
Right.
Man, that one with on the Nutty Professor soundtrack,
Yeah.
that Here With Me, I got that saved. I don't have a lot of music from any of the group members saved in my personal collection, but that one get major airplay. Still to this day, that one still not for real. Ain't the one they play out there in California with the they played. I heard it out there. The It Takes a Fool to Learn That Love Don't Love Nobody.
Come on,
yeah, that one is crazy too.
Yeah, he was already.
Yeah.
Right.
Already. Yeah, he's another one of those ones, man.
Somebody said Tang.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I got so speaking of R&B, what do you think of today's R&B current state?
Okay.
I mean, there's a place for it. It's not in my ears, so not in any of my devices, but there is a place for it. You know, like for the young people, like the same way I'm pretty sure that people that came up before us felt that way about what we were loving and liking or anything like that. But it's like, maybe it's a thing of getting old, but I just tend to like my singing real, you know, and authentic and natural singing and not somebody pushing buttons. You sing one note and then the computer will make all the harmonies for you and stuff like that. It's like, man, it don't push people to be the best that they can possibly be.
For me,
and I miss the days when Big Boy, y'all know Power and Big Boy. They used to be on. I don't know if he might still be on the radio.
Yeah, Power.
But I remember one time, Big Boy just cut off our song. He played our song, and we thought he was playing the song because it was the end of an interview. And he said, "This, ladies and gentlemen, is the instrumental." And at 6 a.m. or whatever time we came on there, we had to clear all the sleep out of our voices and sing the song. It's like, picture somebody doing that to some of these today's artists. There'd probably be a fight, and what the artist would probably attack the radio DJ.
Career
can't do that stuff, huh?
Their careers would be over that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these people, if their fans actually could afford to go see them live, they wouldn't buy another record.
Right. But you know that people are so accustomed to accepting that what's going on. People will pay top dollar, hundreds of dollars to watch somebody lip sync and dance now. Because it became more about dancing, and I'm not going to say any names because there's no disrespect to them, but it was a group that came along right after us. It was a group that came along right before us. Matter of fact, I'm saying like this is a whole history. There's a group that came along right before us, well, way before us, and they were basically solidified in the game when we came out. We ended up doing a tour with them. And people would come to me, and first place it happened was in California. And people was like, their words, the females' words, not mine when I say this, so don't think I'm saying this. Female was like, we came to see this group because they some cute boys. But we leaving, we love y'all because y'all some cute boys too. Plus y'all really can sing. You know, like it was a group that had like dancers who everybody knows dancers. On instruments, pretending that they was playing the instruments and stuff like that, and they was up there just lip syncing and dancing their tails off. And they was definitely, it's an art to what they was doing. They was dancing. So then we came along, and they kind of like the promoters of the shows would pull the curtains on us like mid-show, mid-song and stuff like that, because they be like, get them out of here, get them out of here. The headliners is this group, and we don't want them taking all the love away from them. So fast forward, the same crew of people came and put together another group with all pretty boys and basically the same thing, but one that was really singing and the rest of them just doing some hellified choreography. And it's like the music industry just went right back to that point. It was like everybody was safe. If you knew how to sing a note or not, as long as you looked a certain way and you could dance and put on the show.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, it's like that made music change. And people stopped caring about singing. They started caring about image, more about image, and more about like the whole production value and dancing and putting on the show. What they say, video killed the radio star. So it's like people ain't really care about if you can sing live or nothing no more. They just care, oh, dang, did you see how he looked? You see what he had on? Did you see them thrusters and pumps and them moves? And hell on the second. You
You're
know?
talking that talk. That look. That'd be most of our conversations because it's really content.
Yep.
It's like this. For me, I'm cool with the dancing and all that. Personally,
Yeah.
I don't. You know, like I know, like you're saying, entertainment is an art. It's
Yeah, it
art.
definitely is.
But
And there's a place for them.
if I say that the content has dwindled, there's no more heartfelt stuff. Nobody can, like we used to listen to R&B music, like you said, it'll give you some kind of emotional response. Whether it's being happy, whether it's being sad, you're gonna feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it ain't that. I don't even think people care what they listen to. It's different,
Right.
lyrically, from a songwriter.
We can't feel you.
Right, exactly. But the majority don't care. As long as you look cute and dancing and you got on whatever clothes you're supposed to have, and then don't have a ratchet story. Don't get locked up a couple times or something like that, or don't smack nobody or nothing like that. Then it really don't care what your stuff sound like.
Over.
It's all about, oh, he a goon for real. He done this, or oh, she nasty. She shaking her booty in the camera, got her titties out. We gonna buy that. You feel me?
Right.
Like, what happened to the time when dancers was dancers, strippers was strippers, rappers was rappers, singers was singers? Like it was a whole. Everybody had their own lane. Now everything's mushed together. And if you ain't got some of them other elements, it don't matter how good you sing and perform or whatever. Like if you ain't got some of them other elements, they boring.
Oh, they ain't.
You can't even go to the club and get a slow jam played in the club no more.
Heck no.
What happened?
People don't dance with each other no more. People dance in circles.
Spit game to
Right.
You got hard the whole night. You got to be lit the whole night.
I played myself. Listen. So, back in the day, you'll take these song lyrics like, girl, it's been so long. You'll say that to a chick and be like, ooh, you talking that talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Try that now.
That was our game back in the day.
So baby. That's what's going to get them going down. You can't even finesse no more with the lyrics. You gotta get straight to the point. Like people used to be poetic in our days. Like you said, like people make it. They saying the same thing. We getting to the same place, but we used to do it in a poetic way. We used to take the long trip. Nowadays they just straight to it. Like, what's up with that mouth? What's up with this? Can we do this? Can we do that? But if you ain't doing that, oh, he's soft. Oh, he's shy. Oh, he don't know how to. Yeah, it's real different.
You can't even say that to a chick in conversation, and it sound cool. It's not even game no more.
Right.
It's
They like he's corny.
You used to be poetic, now it's turning into gorilla pimp. Everything is just gorilla pimping.
Everything you gotta go hard with everything. You're right.
So yeah, man.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents on that. But you talking?
Hey, brother, I'm right with you. For real.
You got some more questions, Timbo?
Oh yeah, definitely. Would you consider an acoustic version of any of your recordings that you've done, whether it be gospel or R&B?
Man, it's crazy. I got, and I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna get your stuff from Key. Get y'all, both of y'all, man. I need to be connected with y'all. I like y'all spirits. But like, I got on YouTube. It was what was the baby suffering from? Sickle cell. It's a friend of mine whose daughter has sickle cell, and she's got an organization where they do every year a concert or some type of event to bring awareness and to raise money for sickle cell people that's dealing with sickle cell.
Right.
And she did a concert, and she had like a live band and background singers and everything. And I actually performed Angel and I performed April Showers, and it was cool, real super cool, because like she's friends with the young lady who I wrote both of those songs about. And she actually was there and surprised me. Like, I ain't know it until after the show was over. And I'm a talker more than I am a singer. So it's like I had like whole long dissertations before each one. And I was so glad that the good Lord guided my tongue and I ain't say nothing out of pocket or nothing like that. Because I might have the video that came up that looks so beautiful. Shout out to my brother Sharp Eye, who I seen him. It was scrolling, so I couldn't really get to what he was saying. But I see that he's turned in. Shout out to him for recording it for me, and he's got it up on his YouTube. But the video that came out so beautiful could have been a video of me getting smacked across my face or a drink poured on me, like Love and Hip Hop. I mean, I don't really have nothing to say this thing except for the fact that those songs got everybody else back with their person except for me. It's like everybody else is like, yo, I played that song for my girl and she got back with me. Or one guy even came up to me in the street and just was like, yo, what you doing? What you get ready to do now? And I was like, man, nothing. I'm just chilling over here with some mutual friends that we know. He said, nah, yo, you gotta come with me. He physically dragged me around the corner to a bar where his girl was at. It's like, you gotta sing Angel, because whenever I play that song and we beefing, she come back to me. So we beef for real bad right now. I need you. And he dragged me around the corner and dragged her out of the club and pulled me to the front door because I wasn't dressed appropriately to get in, and like had me to sing that to her on the pavement of the club for real. So I'm like, that song got everybody back with their folks except for me. It was cool to see it that night. And versions came out dope too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works, though.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, we were at the last 5 minutes of the show.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Dang, that went by quick.
It was super.
Hey, good vibes. Convo do that every
That's
time.
what it is. That's exactly what it is. Yep.
Hey. So, Keon, you got anything else? What's that segment?
What'd you say?
What's that segment?
Louisiana.
What's that segment?
What's that segment?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is just concludes another episode of Vibes and Combo, but this is a special one. We usually do it on Wednesdays, but we want to do a special day for my man Wood Rock, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. What's up, the real Derek Jackson? What up, my brother?
Yeah.
And everybody, shout out to everybody that's watching, man. Like, I be seeing y'all names scrolling through, and much love to all of y'all. I ain't got my I need to change my contact, so I ain't really seeing all the comments, but I do see y'all names. So much love to everybody that's tuned in. And happy Sabbath to all my fellow Hebrews out there that might be watching.
All right.
And much love to everybody for real.
Hey.
Hey, yo, man, I need to just be a fly on the wall, like just come back and y'all don't put my picture up or nothing like that. I just need to join your lives. But really, when I told you before, when you do your lives most of the time, I'll be at work. So I can't really tune in like I want to. But the fact that you need to, well, that's the thing. Y'all need to do more on days when I'm off, man. So because I don't be wanting to miss this stuff. Post them so that they stay up. Is it a way that you could do that with so they can stay up?
They're located on my IGTV. Also on my YouTube as well.
Because I like the way y'all think, man. I like the way that y'all break stuff down. It's always good. Like a lot of times you go through life and you feel like you're the only person that thinks about stuff a certain way or looks at stuff a different way. Then when you come across like minds, it's not often. So it's like you just want to hold on to it. So it's like the way that you guys are breaking stuff down and talking. I like to hear more of this. I like
we like to call it that R&B nerd talk.
Exactly. I love it.
But this is stuff that we would do, like even if we went on here with you, we'd be doing the same way, man.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah, we do this on the phone like all the time.
Love this stuff, and just having you on here, man, it's just an honor and a blessing. I never would have thought in a million years I'd be talking to you right now.
I'm the same way, man. That's like I didn't know what they say is something that you didn't know you needed. You needed, but you didn't know you needed. Like, how I get along all this time without that? It's like y'all the friends that I never knew that I had, but we always been friends because our minds is so connected. We so agree on so much stuff. It's like to actually get to put faces with the spirits and stuff like that. Like it feels great.
What they said when John was in the womb and they jumped right because their spirits.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Exactly.
We can talk that talk, okay?
Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can, man. That's another thing that's so necessary, too, man, because it ain't too many. If it ain't them 1, 2, 3, 4 verses that they bring out every Sunday, then you at a loss. I don't know about that. That's your perception. That's your interpretation of it. Like, no, that's what the black and white say.
Right.
It's not it's not for private interpretation.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
man.
Speak on.
Right.
I'm man.
Yeah, so you definitely could tune in to these episodes. This is for everybody in the chat as well. We do this these usually air every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Mm-hmm. And then just click the link in my bio to get to all the episodes in YouTube.
Okay.
We also have a Vibes and Combo playlist You know what I'm saying? I gotta get some Woody Rock on that on our